All hail a beard, it's your boy Big Beard B, and we back for another edition of Big Beard Business. For those of you who are new here, I'm B, and on this channel we help you improve your confidence by way of compliments using the wonderful world of fragrance. If this is your second video or more, my ask is you to hit the subscribe bell. Boom, boom, boom. Hit that subscribe bell because you obviously come back to rock with your boy. As you can see from the title, today's video is a little bit different. We're not here with a review or a traditional top list. I wanted to dive into something that I thought was interesting because these are fragrance brands that I continue to come back to over and over and over again. And the reason for that is because they traditionally deliver. They really get things right, and I really am attracted to what they have to offer. That's why today I'm bringing you 5 fragrance brands that deliver every single time. Well, almost. I'm sure most of you out there already know there are hundreds of thousands of fragrances out there, and hundreds, if not thousands, being released every year. Some that we hear of, and most of them we hear nothing about, all right? But here's the deal. There have been fragrance brands that really set themselves apart, and they really do so in a good way. Now, there's a number of reasons that happens. Obviously, you have marketing that goes behind it, bigger budgets, etc. With those things, you can really position yourself to win with fragrance, but you have to have a good product as well. And these fragrances, in my personal opinion, these fragrance houses, in my personal opinion, really do well. So without any further ado, let me hop into my list. And I know some of these may be owned by the same parent company, but the leadership behind them are different. So we'll dive into this list and get down to business. Now, the first house I want to talk about is that of Maison Margiela. Now, you know that I traditionally talk about the fragrances on my channel when I'm doing lists, etc., because to me, they stand out and they work in specific situations. But the versatility between this house, I mean, it's really almost second to none. With the replica series specifically, they are replicating different points in time, different places, and in my opinion, they do that really well. Now, they also have other fragrances out there that work, and some of those might be Mutiny. I know that not a lot of the ladies out there are like huge fans of Mutiny, but to me, that's a fragrance that really is phenomenal. I enjoyed that scent. But when I look at the deeper collective of fragrances which are there, which is the replica series, I mean, there is really something there for everyone. And even if you don't like a fragrance, it's not that it's bad, it just may not be your style. And even smelling these fragrances, over time, you might even become a fan. So when I look at the versatility between this house, I think of things like Across Sands, right? This one is one of those fragrances that are in the black bottle. You have the EDPs, the gender anonymous scents that really take a different, more artistic approach to the world of fragrance, where you have something like this Sailing Day, which is going to be easy, where you can put this thing on and rock it like a champ and feel confident, feel bold, it's fresh, it's realistic. Or you might even have one of the things like my personal favorite, which is By the Fireplace. I gave that one a 10 out of 10, and overall, I think the line is amazing. I know that they're going to continue to come out with great fragrances. There are some fragrances that I'm not a huge fan of, but it's not that they don't smell good. So first on the list is Maison Margiela. Next up, we have a fragrance house that really delivers a lot, like all the time. Every year they come out with something that stands out, in my personal opinion. Although they may be flankers, they still work, and that's what has to happen, all right? The fragrance house that I'm talking about is that of Paco Rabanne. Now, when I think of this house, the first fragrance that comes to mind for me is the fragrance that made me fall in love with this house, which is the original 1 million. Now, the original 1 million has been a really a superstar standout fragrance, and it has its own life today, just as it did years and years and years ago when it was originally released. I've personally gone through way too many bottles of this one here, and my friends have as well. This one is a clubbing banger, at least it was a clubbing banger. It's not as strong as it used to be, but it's still a solid scent. And now we've even transformed it to one of my new personal favorites here, which is 1 Million Lucky. Really takes that original DNA, swaps it up a bit. You have that plum, you got that hazelnut, a gourmand take on the original, although that one already had this sweet feel to it. It it was heady, and it just worked, and this one does as well. Now, one of the other fragrances out there that really stood out, and I personally believe that the love from Fragcom is what brought this fragrance back, was Paco Rabanne Invictus Aqua. Now, this is the discontinued version, the 2016 version. There's a 2018 that was re-released as well, which I do have over there, but here's the deal. Solid fragrance, man. This thing does smell amazing, and I personally think that the 2018 does too. But within this series, you have the original one, Beast Mode. All right, you have Legend. I have that one too. I need to dive back into this one, give you guys a full spectrum of what's there if you don't already have them all. But listen, if you're looking for a fragrance house to jump into, they have a lot of fragrances out there, and if you find them on the gray market sites, you're gonna get them heavily discounted versus what you would pick them up for in a retail store, which is great because most of you are shopping from home. This is the point where you would traditionally insert sponsor. But no, my friends, today's video is just me talking because I really thought that I have no one else to talk to about this stuff but my YouTube people. And this next house is amazing. Now, my brother called me the other day early in the morning. He had somebody with, my brother's a boxer, and he was training somebody, and they were talking about fragrance, and it just happened to be he was a subscriber of the channel, and he was telling me about all these PDM fragrances that he has, and I'm like, oh, PDM is amazing. And listen, this is the house to me that delivers every single time. Out of the fragrances that I have from them within my collection, which may be, I don't know, let's call it 11, 12 of their fragrances. I don't know. I have a good size of them. I think I have almost all of them. I could be wrong. I'm not sure how many I have. I think I have 12. 11, 12, maybe 13, but they have a good range of fragrances from them as well. One of those fragrances that I've been talking about more so lately is Wojan. This one is cinnamon, it's honey, gourmand staple, hints of spice, oriental scent that just really works. And then when you dive into the versatility of this house, you look at something like Sedley. All right, now Sedley to me is a great fragrance. I originally did a unboxing of this fragrance with my son when we got this one from Crystal Fragrance. This one was sent over for review, so make sure that I'm transparent there. And then she also sent me this one here, which is a fragrance that a lot of you already know that I had a ton of decants of this fragrance here, which is, this is Pegasus, if you don't know which one this is. This is the original Pegasus. I also have Pegasus Exclusive, but this one here is a fragrance that has a bunch of clones of it, okay? And most of the clones that I've come across, or at least the ones that I have in my collection, they work. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you they don't. They work. But this one here is just amazing. It's just trendsetter fragrance in my personal opinion. And it's one that I've obviously wanted within my collection, the real deal Holyfield. But when I look at the entire fleet of fragrances they have, whether it's Leighton Exclusive, Herod, Sedley, Greenlee, Wojan, Nissan, it just goes on, man. The fragrances within this collection, and even on the women's side, right? You have Delina, which is a standout to me. Then there's also, I think, a new one, Delina Rose or Rosé. I have to get my nose on that one soon. So listen, Parfums de Marly delivers every single time. If you're new to the fragrance world and you're looking for something, hop in there, especially if you're looking to introduce yourself into the world of niche, very easy wearing fragrances. Now, I have two more brands to talk about, and to me, these are niche fragrances. I know some people, because of who owns them now, the debate goes on and on for there. But to me, these fragrances are niche, okay? And they really do work. And the fragrance that I'm going to talk about right now, the fragrance house I'm going to talk about, is that of Kilian. All right, now Kilian has really made their mark on those dark, heavy, gourmand, sensual, coffee-based liqueur fragrances. That is the way they really stand out, but they have versatility as well, and they really do. So one of the fragrances that I have in my collection here comes from the Miami Vice collection. I actually have both within the Miami Vice collection, which is Love the Way You Taste and Love the Way You Feel. And Love the Way You Taste is one of those fragrances that you will really wear when you want to give off that type of feel. Now again, this is another fragrance house that has huge range and diversity within its collection. So if you look at things like my personal favorite, Black Phantom. 10 out of 10 for me. Caramelized sugar. You have coffee in here. Woo, this thing just really does the job. Whereas you have something like here that has a more artistic approach in terms of fragrances, where it's replicating a specific time, very similar to Replica, but nothing at all like Replica. This one is apple brandy, okay? This one has this brandy feel to it. Rum, man. Listen, this is the one that my wife really enjoys. Apple brandy, you have intoxicated. I love the way you feel, water calligraphy, and the list goes on. There are just so many out there that they offer, and I would be remiss to not mention the latest and greatest from the house, which is going to be Angel Share. That one has Frag Cone burning up, which means they have really stood out and delivered once again. I can't make this stuff up, man. They're delivering every single time. Kilian, the house is banging. And the final fragrance brand I want to talk about today is a house that obviously I'm partial to. Now, all of these fragrance brands I like, right? And I like them because they deliver good fragrances. And I think some of you out there may think differently and may say, no, B, I prefer this. And that's okay, because, well, that's what this is all about. This opens us up for conversation and to be able to enjoy what we enjoy and to speak our piece and live on. This next one is one of those fragrance brands that I do enjoy. I enjoy it a lot. This one is from the house of Initio. Well, the house that I'm talking about is Initio Parfums PRIVES. Okay, this one here is Oud for Greatness. This one's from their Black Gold project, and this thing is amazing. A bunch of different types of ouds here, and this makes ouds very wearable. So if you're looking to a oud fragrance, but you find ouds to be too pungent, too aggressive, then look at this one here, because I think this is one that will be a great introduction into oud, and you can rock it well. And then two very wearable fragrances from the brand is obviously Rehab. Rehab, super wearable, crowd pleasing scent that gets compliments. If you're looking for that and you want fragrances that can garner your compliments, this is one of those fragrances that can definitely start a conversation for sure. And then finally, one of the fragrances that I wanted to talk about is Side Effect. All right, Side Effect here, one in the purple bottle. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what else to say about this line. This entire fragrance lineup that I've come across, whether if you're looking for fragrances to blend, they do those really well, right? So they have magnetic blend fragrances numbered out, and it's like, hey, you can mix this one with this one, or mix this one with that one, and this fragrance is going to yield you these results this way. This fragrance really takes this natural approach to fragrance for the most part. You can really digest what these fragrances are meant to be and the feeling that was behind them as they were created, as with all of these fragrances. All right, so these are fragrance brands that I enjoy, 5 specifically from this list today. Obviously, I have my own fragrance collection with the Navitus brand, along with Steven. He has his collection there as well. But listen, these are 5 fragrance brands that work for me and deliver every time. I would love to hear from you. What are fragrance brands that deliver for you every single time? There's a great chance out there I might not have heard of the brand that you're going to mention. I want to dive into it. So as I explore more in 2021 into the different fragrance houses, I would love to do so. Hit me up down in the comment section. Let me know 5 fragrance brands you enjoy that deliver for you every single time, and some fragrances from that house. As always, I'm your boy, Big B. Beat them with the like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend that we are back again. And you already know what I need you to do. Just hit the goddamn